Firstly, Deb, what do you use the vehicle for?
Ultimately, I bought it specifically to tow the boat.
Yeah, right.
We do have 3 kids. Every now and then, you end up, when I take them away, go a bit of camping, that sort of thing. It just seemed like the right thing for us to do moving forward. The boat's 2 ton, needed something that wasn't going to feel like it was being dragged around behind it.
Yeah, great. So obviously you had the vehicle for a while, then you decided to get it tuned. What's it been like since you got it tuned?
First and foremost, absolutely love the fact it's got a bit more pickup now.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's lagging.
So explain, like, that's one good thing, which, you know, I explain that to customers. What's it like when you say the pickup for you? What did you notice yourself?
Oh, I do have a little bit of a heavy foot.
Yeah.
So naturally, I like to be able to have a car that can sort of get up and going. If I feel like I need to move out of the way of something, I have power there. It didn't have that initially before I brought it to you.
Yeah, great.
And since I've had it here with you guys and you've done all that work on it, I just find it a lot more enjoyable to drive. The fuel economy, honestly, fuel prices are ridiculous at the moment.
Yeah.
So anywhere we can save on that literage just kind of makes everyone feel better, doesn't it?
Awesome. That's
More
great.
money for the boat,
Yeah,
fuel.
definitely.
When I first picked up the Lotus Caravan, it wasn't so much bigger, but it was definitely heavier.
Yeah.
And I felt that straight away. As soon as I left the dealership for the first time, we were pulling out of Melbourne, and I sort of looked at the wife and I said, oh, I think I made a boo-boo here. This is actually a bit heavier than I thought.
Yeah.
And so then, you know, I was watching some YouTube vids, and a video of yourself popped up, and I started doing my homework there. And being from a Ford dealership, you know, I've seen some failures where some tuners have used chips and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't my go-to. I really liked what you guys did.
Yep.
And so I invested my money with you guys, and mate, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, right.
Instantly, as soon as I bolted the van on the back, mate, I was happy.
That's great to hear, Ross. I mean, obviously what you've done, you said 40,000 Ks since we tuned it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pretty much at maximum capacity, at 7 tonnes.
Yeah, wow. So, I mean, on average, we tune a lot of ranges, and that's, you know, really important. But I think, Ross, you're a great example of a customer who's using this purpose-built vehicle to support what you're doing, and it's become a lifestyle for you and your family travelling around, which is outstanding. Tell me about, you know, you're talking about a 7-tonne total combined mass this vehicle can tow with the lovely van behind it. How's it been in some of those hot conditions and some of those situations, you know, in central Australia where you're seeing 35 plus degrees temperature? How's it been towing? And obviously you've noticed it before because you didn't have the tune, and now since you've tuned it, what's different so that, you know, some of the people that are thinking about getting their car tuned, they can relate to it because they're towing as well?
Yeah, so probably the most thing, I built the car specifically knowing that we were going to be in a lot of hot weather.
Yeah.
We were always chasing the heat. It was a summer holiday for a year, basically.
Yeah.
And when you're pulling the kind of weight and the size of van that we are, heat is, you know, it's massive.
Yes.
It runs quite well. I haven't had to worry about it. I've had no stress. You put your foot down, it pulls away. So after you know, getting that tune done, it was just a totally different car. Transformed it.
Thanks for coming in, Cam.
No worries.
That's great. So 12 months ago we tuned the car, and obviously today we want to talk to you about a little bit of that experience of what it was like from when we tuned it and to what it's like 12 months down the track and those changes from before it was tuned. But tell us a little about what do you use it for?
Look, Rob, I just use it mostly as a daily driver.
Yep.
Got the baby seat in the back,
Yeah.
throw the dogs in the back, take them to the park, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But I mean, occasionally I take it out camping and off-road as well.
Yeah, I know you came out on a trip we did out to the Condamine and things like that with it as
yeah.
well. What was the first reason that sort of sparked you to get the car tuned?
To be honest, I felt like it was a little laggy and underpowered compared to what I previously had, and I actually missed that, and I felt as though the fuel economy was actually a lot worse as well. So it was actually quite a number one thing that I wanted to do. So
Yeah, awesome. So Cam, when we tuned the car, we got an improvement of over 30% gain in both power and torque. Would it be fair to say that the torque obviously is that acceleration you feel? So did you feel you eliminated the lag that you mentioned?
big time. As soon as I got in the car, completely different car. I tell people all the time, it's like driving a completely different car, you know? The lag was eliminated, beautiful power, it goes where I want it to, how I want it to,
Yeah, great. Well, 30%, you know, even when you do go off-road, you really notice it when the car's under load. That torque is what you notice when you tune the vehicle. So those improvements are really good. One thing you did mention was, what was the fuel consumption like? Because right now, the biggest topic is about fuel consumption. How did the Triton fare after we tuned it?
A lot better. If I try to drive conservatively, which I do most of the time, especially these days, it's Much better. Yeah, and it's one of the #1 things I noticed. So I try to drive conservatively, save that fuel, and it's much better than what it previously was.
When we got your vehicle, and like we do with any other vehicle at Ultimate Diesel Tuning, really important part of our tuning process is that we make sure the car's in good mechanical order. So it's great that you've done all those things like the manifold being cleaned, the injectors have been replaced, you know, timing chain checks have all been done as well. We still do checks in the workshop to make sure the car's in good order. What we found when we ran your car up in the dyno, as you got the phone call, it was down in power. So what that led to us is doing a bit further diagnosis as to why it was down in power. Our workshop mechanics found that your actual catalytic converter was blocked, and that's why the car was so down on power. So obviously we got that rectified, fixed it. Was it correct in saying your car had something like a 60% gain?
Yeah, it was insane. When I saw the numbers, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Obviously, I didn't notice it was lacking power at first, being stock. So after that massive increase, it just went like a rocket. So I'm so glad. Yeah, it's improved dramatically. So,
Yeah. So I suppose just to take, you know, some of our customers so they've got a good understanding, the importance of doing that inspection, you know, you didn't even recognise you had a problem with it. Us seeing vehicles day in day out, we can see some of those problems and identify and rectify them, because we're not going to tune a car that's got a mechanical issue before that. It's important that the car's in good mechanical order, and then we go forward and custom tune it. You mentioned, you know, and I saw a bit of a smile on your face when you drove the car out. Obviously, you know, we get about 30 to 40% gain out of the Pajero 3.2 litre engines in roughly power and torque. Your car's gone 60. You must have had a massive improvement when you put your foot on the accelerator and took off.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Just feeling that instant torque. Like it had like turbo lag, like very bad. But man, the tune made a big difference. So put your foot down and off you go.
So Esteban, I must say, it's been over 6 years you've been coming to Ultimate Diesel Tuning here at G-Bung. I think on 3 different occasions for different modifications. Is there anything you'd like to share, you know, from a customer perspective on your experience, not just with the car, but anything from our end?
Yeah, look, I think if you're at home watching these videos and you're sitting on the fence about having your car tuned, do it. Don't second guess it. Power, fuel saving, reliability, just jump over and do it.
No, that's great. No, I appreciate your kind words, really do. So if you're thinking of improving the performance of your common rail diesel vehicle, this is what we specialise in here at Ultimate Diesel Tuning. So give us a call or drop into one of our performance centres in Brisbane, Gold Coast and Melbourne. Remember, we've got a dealer network all around Australia, and make sure you subscribe to Ultimate Diesel Tuning on YouTube.